Sripada Srivallabha Chapter 23 Explanation of the Esoteric Significance of Shiva Worship. Part 1 The Greatness of a Shiva Yogi's Devotion, the Teachings of Sripada to him. When I was about to move from the opposite bank of the Krishna river to Kurungada, I came across a noble Vaishya named Dharmagupta. He was also coming to Kurungada for the darshan of Sripada. During the conversation, I learned that he was related to Sripanda Venkatapaya Shishri of Pitikapuram. There was no end to my astonishment. All the devotees of Sripada Srivallabha amid this for narrated his divine history, sportive plays, miracles and amazing incidents. There is a speciality in the wonderful incidents they narrated. Each of them told only a few incidents and that happened in a particular year of Sripada's life. Those incidents were not related to each other and they appeared to be a wonder of wonders. There were very strange matters unheard of by me till then. Till now I was taught by his devotees about his divine place in an orderly way covering a period of 10 years in the life of Sripada. I thought that Dharmagupta may narrate some events that took place in the 11th year of Sripada. Sripada does his sportive pastimes every moment. In the meanwhile, Dharmagupta began to narrate Sri Shankar Bhatt. I am a devotee of Shiva. When Sripada was 11 years old, a Shiva yogi came to Putikapuram. He was a worthy man. He used to collect alms in his hands. He did not have any bag, plate or any vessel with him. He appeared like a lunatic to the onlookers. He first came to the temple of Sri Kukuteshwar. On seeing his mad appearance and dust-coated figure, the temple priest did not allow him to enter into the temple. He was an Avadhuta without body consciousness. He was repeatedly chanting the Shiva Panchakashri mantra. I was going to the house of Sri Painda Venkatapaya Shishti riding a horse. Sri Painda Venkatapaya Shishti was related to me as a brother-in-law. I was in the habit of visiting the Sri Kukuteshwar temple on my way. As I was a prominent Vaishya, the priestess in the temple performed a grand puja in my name on that day. My habit was to give them liberal sambhavnas. I gave 5 varas to the priestess as sambhavna. They distributed it among themselves. They submitted their financial difficulties, troubles and problems to me. They affirmed that just like me was very essential for the protection of Sanatana Dharma. Suddenly the Shiva yogi comes in rushing into the temple like a blowing wind. Along with him, 2 cobras also entered the temple. On seeing this, the priestess started sweating profusely with fear. The Shiva yogi said, "You priestess, don't be afraid. These are ornaments for Kukuteshwar whom we adore. Those cobras are eager to embrace Kukuteshwar just as children desire to embrace their father. They are like our brothers. It is a great sin to fear, to run away or to kill our brothers on seeing them. They are attracted here by the special puja performed by the priestess. Let us worship Kukuteshwar who wears serpents as ornaments with more care and diligence. Sing Namaka and Chamaka with good voice and with good melody." The priestess were at a loss for what to do. The priestess had some sycophants among them. They used to say many words of flattery to please rich persons among devotees provided they gave generous donations to the priestess. One of the priestess in Pitikapuram, named Surya Chandra Shastri, was not only a good scholar but also a sincere and strict observer of religious ceremonies. He had great devotion towards Sripada. He remembered Sripada and began to recite Namaka and Chamaka with a good voice and with good melody. The visiting cobras also waved their hoods in tune with the melody's rhythm and displayed their happiness. Surya Chandra Shastri brought the Shiva yogi to the house of Sri Bapnare. A sumptuous meal was given to the satisfaction of the Shiva yogi. Afterwards, the Shiva yogi had the darshan of Sripada. Sripada granted him a vision as Shiva Shakti Swarupa. The Shiva yogi was in a state of samadhi for 3 days. After 3 days, Sripada fed the Shiva yogi food with his divine hands. Then he explained very succinctly, "My dear, perform the religious rituals mentioned in Sanatana Dharma and be liberated. Content of the Purans is neither fiction nor lies. The general meaning of the Purans is different from their secret hidden meaning. Only for those spiritual aspirants who observe the rigorous spiritual discipline, the inner meanings and profound esoteric secrets of the Purans will flash in their mental horizon among the sun and the moon, who cause seasons. The sun represents the supreme self and the moon represents the mind. Only when the effulgence of the sun represents the super self and the moon representing the mind combine, the activity of the creation occurs. Amavasya stands for illusion. This Maya at first escapes potencies called Vasuvas by adding degrees of light in the moon and again merging them in itself. Just as Maya is transforming the effulgence of Paramatma into the form of the mental moon, the rays of the sun are transmitted into the moon even though Maya and Amavasya are inert form. The word that originated on account of them has a combination of intellect and inner traits due to its nearness to the intellectual influence. Just as the spring season is the basis for sprouting in nature's cycle, a woman's menstrual cycle is the basis for the birth of children. The desire of Brahmajana will only exist in the progeny that originated from a female. The menstrual cycle in the females is said to be opposing Brahma, the creator. So it is said by the Pandits that it was generated by killing Brahmas. As the secrets of the Vedas are shrouded in Chandasu, they are called Chandasa. Since the cycle is not straight and has a crooked quality to it, a woman in her menstrual cycle is kept at a distance for 3 days. Heaven is a lustrous sphere having a natural brilliance. The earth of the mortals is a place of deaths and births. All the nether worlds are illuminated by the sunlight, therefore they are called Kusunulu. All the 7 nether worlds have divine potentates rulers like Jataveda and others. The earth where we live is before the 7 nether worlds. Fire is it residing deity. All these 8 divine potentates rulers are called Ashtavasuras. They are called Vasuvas because they get light from the sun. The airy spaces between these 8 spheres are called the 7 seas. Sage Vachya remark the air is also called symbolizes a sea. Ordinary people consider 7 seas as forms of water, but it is not correct. Part 2. The greatness of Shiva, the forms of Shiva in the 11 Shiva Kshetras in Andhra Pradesh. Shiva is the personification of the 11 Rudras. There are 11 Shiva Kshetra in Andhra Pradesh. Visiting them will confer great benefit. They are Nagareshwar in Brihat Sila Nagaram, Mallikarjun in Srishala, Bhimeshwar in Draksharva, Ramalingeshwar in Kashirama, Amaralingeshwar in Amravati, Kotipaleshwar in Kotipalli Kshetra, Mukuteshwar in Pitikapuram, Mahanandeshwar in Mohanadi, Kaleshwar in Kakaleshwaram, Kakalastishwar in Shri Kakalasti, Tripunateshwar in Tripuntakara. In reality, there is no image for Shiva. The Shivalinga is nothing but the form of light glowing in all souls. The crystal linga is a purity enshrined in the form of a pure mind achieved after Siddhi. Rudra, who helps us to bestow knowledge to the brain encased in our head, is called Kapali. The nerves that spread from the brain downwards up to the neck are called Rudra Charas. Shiva in the form of a Hatha Yogi is called Lakulisha. Shiva goes begging alms and through it he takes away the sins of the souls. Shiva dances in ecstasy in tune with the great vibrations of the musical rhythmic creation, sustains and liquidation process. Therefore, Shiva is called Nataraja. Shiva can also grant salvation which brings the greatest bliss. Chit means mind, Ambara means sky or cloth. Chidambara is the one who is in the form of sky. The sky which you behold in this vast universe is a form of Rudra. The 12 Jyotirlingas represent the 12 signs of the zodiac. So Shiva is time personified. 8 directions are the 8 embodiments of the form of Chidakasha. The 5 elements are his 5 faces. The 5 sensory organs, the 5 functional organs and the mind put together become 11 Rudra potencies. They are called Ekadasha Rudras. The image of Uma Maheshwara is a perennial benevolent and beautiful form. The form of Sripukantaka is the one that destroys the three qualities. The wisdom eye is the third eye. During profound peaceful meditation in the Samadhi state, the holiness that constantly flows out is the very holy Mother Ganga, that is the coils of the hair on the head of Lord Shiva. The form of the premial couple Shiva Parvati is the zodiacal sign Mithuna. When the star Audra shines in the sky, Shiva grants him the darshan. One has to cross the Vrishabha zodiacal sign before reaching Mithuna sign. That Vrishabha is Nandishwara. This is the personification of Dharma. The light that shines between the eyebrows is the crescent moon that adorns the forehead. On account of the yogic state, lust is conquered. The difference between the male and female genders is destroyed and a unified position is reached. That position is the form of Ardhanarishwara. During the time of Lingobhavada, a camphor flame sparkles as a divine light in the thousand petals Sahasra Chakra. Linga means the subtle body hidden in the grass body. The Vedas affirm that it shines like a light. The secret of Shiva's worship can only be known by regular discipline, practice, and the grace of a guru. Just as there is the physical Pitikapuram, there is another golden Pitikapuram that is formed only of heavenly illumination, that is constructed by my consciousness. Those devotees and wise men who constantly remember me can know about it from experience. Irrespective of the great distances, when they reside, they will become residents of the golden Pitikapuram. I am always easily accessible to them. The priestess you saw in Kukateshwar temple in physical Pitikapuram are born from the origin of Pramada Ganas. There are many hordes of devils, ghosts and spirits. For who practices yoga or worship Sripada, Srivallabha, those devils and ghosts will create disturbances. Those who get over those obstacles are indeed fortunate. I told many a time that a Mahasamasthan would be established in the house of my maternal grandfather. My will is very efficacious, like rows of ants. Millions of devotees and groups of yogiks will visit my samsthan. I only will decide who, when, how many, and in what might they will come. It is usually false to think that simply because they are residents of Pitikapuram, they can come to the Sripada Srivallabha samsthan and have darshan. My grace showers ambrosia no worthy ones. It will be like a mirage to unworthy ones. Victory unto Sripada Srivallabha.